When you come to Talladega in the ARCA Menard Series, it's a golden opportunity type of race.
We're going to be 40 deep, bumper to bumper. I'm going to be pushing this whole group along.
And green flag in the air.
Garrett Mitchell, the man the racing world knows as Cleetus McFarland, came within 0.111 seconds of winning the Alabama-manufactured Housing 200 at Talladega Superspeedway on April 25, 2026. He started 20th, moved quickly into the top 10, ran in the top 5 for most of the race, and led multiple laps before getting caught up in a door-slamming battle with Gus Dean. On the final lap, Andy Jankowiak powered through on the outside and stole the win in his 48th career ARCA start. Cleetus crossed the line in P2. Days later, Nice Motorsports confirmed that Cleetus McFarland will return to Talladega Superspeedway on October 23rd in the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series, driving the No-4 Chevrolet Silverado with Blues Hog as the primary sponsor. To understand why that announcement carries so much weight, the full timeline of Cleetus McFarland's NASCAR journey has to be laid out clearly. Garrett Mitchell, 31 years old, built his public profile through drag racing, car builds, Freedom Factory events, and YouTube content. His NASCAR racing career began in February 2026, when he made his NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series debut at Daytona International Speedway. He qualified 12th and finished 37th after crashing out of the Fresh from Florida 250 following a single truck spin off turn 4 on lap 6. In the ARCA Menard Series, he had accumulated 5 starts entering 2026, earning a pair of top 10s. At Rockingham Speedway on April 4th, 2026, he finished 4th in the ARCA Menard Series East race and made his O'Reilly Auto Parts Series debut in the No. 33 Richard Childress Racing Chevrolet, starting 35th and finishing 32nd, 6 laps down after multiple spins, including one on lap 206 that brought out the final caution. That Rockingham O'Reilly result is exactly what led to the first major controversy. Cleetus had been scheduled to run the O'Reilly Auto Parts Series race at Talladega Superspeedway on April 25, 2026 with Richard Childress Racing. NASCAR denied that entry. NASCAR EVP and Chief Racing Development Officer John Probst addressed it directly on the Holler Talk podcast. We're all huge Cleetus fans. We all watch his videos and are certainly very appreciative of everything he's done in our sport and will continue to do in our sport. He is approved right now for O'Reilly Series short tracks, which means he's good for all of ARCA, all of Truck, and then O'Reilly up through the short tracks. We'd like to see more out of Cleetus in the short tracks. So we're not saying no, but there is more that we would like to see out of Cleetus before we would approve him for Talladega. ARCA's Danny Lawrence had anticipated that decision. He told Motorsport.com, "I would not be surprised if NASCAR didn't want us to run another race. Everything happens so fast there that we all want to be prepared when we do take him there." Cleetus addressed the denial publicly on his Facebook and Instagram pages on April 7th, 2026. He said, "Ladies and gentlemen, I wanted you to hear it from me first, that I have been denied by NASCAR to run Talladega in my O'Reilly car.
That I am not approved to run Talladega.
I made my O'Reilly debut last Saturday with hopes of getting approval for Talladega, but they did not see enough. Granted, it was a pretty hectic race. I tried to pass someone 3 wide on the 3rd lap, spun out a few times, didn't crash or crash anybody, but still, it was pretty hectic." He added, "I need more windshield time regardless of whether it's in an O'Reilly car or ARCA car or truck. More windshield time is going to help me. I've got a lot to learn, guys." He called the decision a kick in the nuts, but accepted it without blaming NASCAR or RCR. He said, "I just need to get out there more and do as much learning as possible, and then hopefully I'll get to run Daytona and Talladega next year." That was the state of his NASCAR future as of early April 2026. 3 weeks later, the picture changed significantly. Back at Talladega for the ARCA race, Cleetus did not ride conservatively. He moved through the field, ran at the front, led laps, and was positioned to win on the final lap. When Gus Dean and Cleetus made contact while battling for the lead, Andy Jankowiak came through on the outside to claim the victory, his first career ARCA Menard Series win. Cleetus finished P2, just 0.111 seconds behind. His post-race statement captured the experience. "That is the greatest race I have ever been a part of, and that is the most fun I have ever had with my clothes on." The result generated immediate debate about whether the P2 ARCA finish should unlock O'Reilly Superspeedway approval. NASCAR Managing Director for Racing Communications Mike Ford answered that question directly on Holler Talk. His answer was, not yet. He confirmed that Cleetus had already announced his second O'Reilly Auto Parts Series start of 2026 at Nashville Superspeedway, a track under 1.5 miles. Ford explained the approval pathway. Depending on how he does then, the driver approval committee will meet and discuss if he's ready for the next step. So the next step then would be an intermediate, so 1.5 2-mile tracks. There is a chance that he could be granted approval for the whole kit and caboodle, superspeedways and that. But more to come on that one. Ford elaborated on the specific threshold involved. It would be a pretty high hurdle to clear, because the next step, as I said, would be intermediates. So if he does outstanding in Nashville, I imagine that he would be approved for 1.5. But there is a scenario where we feel comfortable enough that he could do everything. The numbers behind his RCR deal matter here. Cleetus signed a 3-race deal with Richard Childress Racing for 2026. Nashville appears to be race number 2. That leaves at least one more contracted start, and 2 O'Reilly Superspeedway races remain on the 2026 calendar, Daytona and Talladega, meaning full approval before the season. Ends is still mathematically possible. Now, alongside that O'Reilly path, the Nice Motorsports announcement adds a separate and confirmed Talladega date. Cleetus McFarland will drive the no. 4 Blues Hog Chevrolet Silverado for Nice Motorsports in the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series at Talladega Superspeedway on October 23rd. Cleetus stated, "I'm fired up to be driving the Blues Hog Silverado for Nice Motorsports at Da. We are all hoping to take it to the front." Blues Hog is also becoming the official grilling partner of Nice Motorsports, with the brand appearing on the No 45 truck driven by Ross Chastain and Landon Lewis for the remainder of the 2026 season. Ross Chastain commented, "I love seeing what Blues Hog has been doing in NASCAR, and we're all super thrilled to welcome them to Nice Motorsports." When he ran at Daytona for the Truck Series race, viewership increased noticeably. When he made his O'Reilly debut at Rockingham, series viewership rose over 10% year over year. Those are measurable impacts, not projections. NASCAR acknowledged as much through Probst's comments about being very appreciative of everything he's done in our sport. The approval ladder Cleetus must still climb is defined and sequential. Nashville is the next evaluation. A strong result there puts intermediate tracks within reach. A dominant performance opens the possibility, not the guarantee, of full superspeedway clearance. 2 O'Reilly Superspeedway races remain in 2026. If Nashville goes well and the approval committee moves quickly, Daytona or Talladega in an O'Reilly car before the year ends is a genuine possibility. The October 23rd Craftsman Truck Series race at Talladega adds another superspeedway data point for NASCAR's ongoing evaluation, regardless of the O'Reilly approval process. Running on its own track. The facts at this moment are these. Cleetus McFarland has one career ARCA Menard Series Top 2, a confirmed Craftsman Truck Series date at Talladega in October 2026, a second. O'Reilly start booked at Nashville and a defined pathway to full superspeedway approval. He is not approved for O'Reilly Superspeedways yet. Whether that changes before the 2026 season ends depends entirely on what happens next at Nashville Superspeedway.